The golden age of Battletech. I say the golden age because there are so many options to explore in terms of miniatures. We've got the official Catalyst plastics. We've got the old school classic plastics and metals, 3D printing, not to mention numerous third-party supported miniatures. If you can imagine it, if it's in the tech manual, you can find it, you can play it. And what is amazing to me is more and more, as Battletech enthusiasts join this amazing community, I'm discovering vehicles, mechs to a certain degree, that I didn't know they existed, or I just kind of casually flipped through the later tech manuals or the supplements. And what's amazing is now it's easier to match the miniature, either exactly or something that could proxy. And of course, being a miniature enthusiast, this is the only justification I need to purchase more miniatures. And that leads us to today's Tactica Checklist Vlog. A couple of questions with this vehicle, the Skulker Scout Car. Now, previously, I do have a Swiftwind Scout Car. I have used it from time to time based on the mission. Essentially, it's a fast-moving vehicle that you're going to use to flush out mechs and flush out various positions on the table, reveal infantry and other units. In terms of city fight, city tech, or a dense board like a woodland-type board, it can be very valuable. I have to say, and this is not a criticism, I understand it's a tabletop war game, a lot of the hex maps are somewhat balanced. There's a mixture of terrain. So from that perspective, there are places to hide. You kind of know where you're going. You can get an idea of what's going on, even if it's with hidden units and mechs that you don't know. Versus, say, throw down a giant table of city fight, city tech, attacker versus defender, and you're looking at this city, and even if you have adjusted battle value, meaning you're going to hold the city, you can deploy anywhere you want up to the city limits. You've got 8K battle value, and I have like 16K battle value. On paper, that looks amazing, but once you're staring down those buildings, that terrain, you're like, wow, stuff can be hidden everywhere, infantry everywhere. Just, you really start second guessing yourself. So having some ability to recon could be kind of nice. Well, do we need a recon vehicle that's a little bit heavier armored and maybe possibly starts carrying some gear for battle value? Now, this is the other challenge. Things start to get a little bit blurry. Yes, playing this type, playing the Skulker, right away, first thing I'm thinking of is, okay, I have an initiative sync, right? Putting down another unit, it's going to activate at initiative at some point. And with that being a scout car going out into that mid-band of the table to kind of check out units, am I putting it at risk? This is battle value aside. I think it's about 300 battle value. Putting battle value aside, if I'm putting a unit, the very definition of a scout unit, if I'm putting that out there, it's not necessarily going to engage. I'm not planning to engage, but it's going to get zapped. It's going to get fired upon. Am I going to lose? How fast am I going to lose it, I guess? And am I going to be down early game one initiative sync, right? In Battletech, we explored this. I pushed it up to the Battletech playlist. Initiative is important. Initiative is important. You lose one initiative, that shifts the game. You lose two or more, now you're on the defensive, regardless of what mechs that you have. This is why I often will bully the lighter units or the easier to destroy units. So what this gets in, especially at 300 battle value, is the fact that we're looking at, am I better off taking a mech? Because I don't have to worry about motive hits. I don't have to worry about certain aspects from that. Now, yes, if we're playing with the supplemental rules or we're playing with certain rules, the Skulker has sensors and options like that. That might make it worth it, but we're kind of just looking on the tabletop, its space that it occupies and how it moves through there. Because even if you are playing with the tech suite that it has, you don't just put it on the table and it just knows everything. You got to get up there. So I start to look and say, am I better off with a mech? Buying in a locust, just something, I was going to say expendable, not expendable, something that for the battle value buy-in about comparable or a little more, Now I have a lot more flexibility in terms of movement, maybe even weapons. We explored the Ost Scout the other day. Maybe we're going to take the Ost Scout, although I think in terms of narrative, I would not use an Ost Scout so openly. I would take a Skulker or some other type of recon car because the actual production is much easier. But putting that narrative aside, okay, we have a medium laser. You've got some weapon systems that are on many light mechs. It doesn't have secondary, right? If I'm comparing it to the Locust, it doesn't have machine guns, but this is pure recon. So you're matching medium laser to medium laser. You've got a little bit of a zappy. You've got something that could at least fire back. Is that going to stop a dedicated light mech from trying to hunt you down? No, but you've got something to fire back on. Is that going to give you something to take attacks of opportunity for some reason? If you're zipping around in the back of that city and you reveal missile carriers or a short-range missile carrier hiding somewhere before it hits you, could you zap it? Possibly, right? It's better than just a small laser or no weapons. But now we get into something interesting where, what if I just take like a Savannah Master or a low battle value fast hover, possibly with some greater weapons? Well, now, that shifts the temptation greatly. I could take a hover for battle value buy-in with some better weapons, use it as a scout. But now if I'm looking at a medium laser and some SRM packs, I want to use those. So we're changing from a dedicated scout to a skirmisher or something that's going to just try and work up your flank and in your back and cause as many problems as it can. That changes the Tactica. Dedicated scout car units. I've used them from time to time. It's more the narrative, but on that Tactica checklist for the battle value buy-in, I feel like I can either branch off into hovers if I want to keep it on the cheap, or just start really looking at mechs and pushing into that. But taking that into account, the electronics and the various rules, if you're looking at the Swift Wind and some of the others, if you're playing with those, well then, yes, the dedicated role of a scout unit is that, but what is the terrain? Is it really necessary with the battlefield knowledge that it's going to give you?